certificate from last week? Is this the one from last week? No, that's for tonight.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You know, they say that one of the ways that we enter into Shabbat is not just with prayer or with a space that helps us feel a little bit differently, but by turning to one another. In fact, Rabbi Harold Schulweis once said that perhaps the most accessible way to find holiness in our lives is in the face of one another. The Talmud itself actually says the day begins when we are able not to be able to know that we are with one another, or to be distant to one another, but to be face to face, to be near one another. And so this Shabbat, we are together not just to welcome in this new holiday of this week, right? The rabbis said it's a powerful holiday, why not have it every week, right? But to celebrate many of the different things in our lives, many of the different ways that we see one another. And so we're going to have some celebrations this evening, and some of you may have noticed one or two teenagers in our sanctuary as well. I don't know if anybody noticed. Where are the teenagers in our? All right. So they're over here. We have. Oh, and over, yes, all around our sanctuary. This evening, as a part of the ANDI All-Nighter, we are going to also have sections of our service led by our teens, allowing our young adults, those emerging as leaders in our community, to share their voice from this very same bima. And so as we turn to one another, celebrating all of these life cycle events, all of these major moments in our lives, we say it is simply good to be with one another. So I invite us to turn to page 10 of our prayer books. Let's sing together.
Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
And as we welcome one another face to face this evening, I want to invite us to actually turn to someone in our sanctuary and say Shabbat Shalom, a hello, a welcome to them as we begin. But here is the challenge. You have to find someone that you have not spoken to yet this evening. And for those of us who are joining online on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as on tilb.org, I want to invite you to go into the chat and offer a welcome, a Shabbat Shalom to one another. I want to mention also that we have a higher quality stream at tilb.org where you'll find not only that higher quality stream, but at the end of our service, when we get to our prayer for healing and our memorial prayer, you'll be able to offer the names of those that you're thinking of. We'll share them out loud in our sanctuary. Go ahead and offer in the chat a welcome, a Shabbat Shalom to one another as we begin this holiday.
Of course, yeah.
Well, anytime we have the opportunity to be together in some new way, some new collection of people coming together, or perhaps people that we know well, but on a different week, on a different time, we offer a new experience. Each one of us offering our own voice, our own week to this moment. It's a new day. It's a new holiday, and so we have a prayer that calls that out and says, so too may we sing a new song this evening. Let's join together on page 12 of our prayer books.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Well, it's these major moments in our lives that allow us to see it more broadly, more widely. And there is a profound celebration that comes from two people bringing their lives together. Years ago, when the Kabbalists were thinking about this moment of Shabbat, they too drew in that image of two people bringing their lives together with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20. And so, not yet, but when we get to the end of our prayer, when we get to that last verse, I'm going to invite us to rise and to turn to the door through which we entered our sanctuary, actually welcoming in Shabbat. Not just symbolically, but actually taking on this holiday, this particular moment of rest, of celebration, of healing. Because this celebration of Shabbat, it's just like two people bringing their lives together. It's beautiful and full of possibilities. And so we open our hearts to it. I invite us to turn to page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת בלי תהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי ושלום מטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובסהולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שלום מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, מלכי השלום.
Well, now having warmed up with these prayers, these gifts from the Kabbalists, we begin in earnest our holiday of Shabbat. And on this day, we begin not just this particular holiday this week, but a special celebration of two people in our community becoming bar and bat mitzvah. And so as we begin our day, I'd like to invite Jacob and Elizabeth, Rick and Terry to help us as we light our candles. Well, these sweet and good moments are made all that much brighter by being with one another, by welcoming in new life, and by noting all of these sacred moments in our lives. It is actually possible to go through and not notice the incredible things that we are surrounded by, and so we take certain times in our lives to stop. We take a moment to celebrate when young people become teenagers and begin the journey that they have into adulthood. And we also take a moment to welcome when we have new life in our community as well. And so I would like to call up Alicia and Stella and Joseph as we welcome a very particular new life into our community. Now, there is a custom of drawing and weaving not only everyone here into this moment, but weaving the love of everyone who loves you, Stella, into this moment as well. And so, and I believe is with us watching this evening, Stella, we have your great-grandfather's talit. All of the memories and moments that have been brought into this talit, now holding you as you receive this blessing this evening. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzit. Go ahead and
For all of us, or just her?
just her.
And all the stains that come with it.
Yeah, those are just memories. Those are good memories.
Coffee stains.
Yeah, it's not a talit without a couple of those. Yeah. Well, in our tradition, there are many ways that we receive blessing. In our tradition, there's many different ways that we receive love. And one of them is with the gift of a name. Stella, your parents have spent a lot of time thinking about the right way to offer this blessing to you, knowing that it's so important not just to say that we love those people in our family, that we love you, but to think of the particular ways that you are a gift to everyone here. I don't want to say too much about the name because we'll hear about it in just a moment, but I want to offer this gift and this blessing to you. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Yeah. Kayamet hayelda hazot lavia v'ulamiha v'yikra shema b'Yisrael me'ira bat Yosef v'Elisha. Our God and God of our mothers and our fathers, sustain this child through her parents' loving care, and let her be known among our people by the name Me'ira bat Yosef ve'Elisha. May your name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our community and all humanity. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul, and as they have brought her into this community, may they, with wisdom and patience, lead her to a life of learning, a life of good deeds, and a life of loving companionship and friendship. I invite all of us together to say, Amen. Amen. Okay, and now a little bit about your name. Go ahead.
We are so grateful to have this opportunity to give Stella her name in this incredible and welcoming community. We thought about why we gave Stella the name that we did, and we realized the person who may be most interested in this story, well, you all, I'm sure, are relatively interested, but she might be more interested. So baby girl, hopefully we remember to show you this video when you're old enough to care. We named you Stella, her English name, to recognize two of her great-grandmothers. Shirley, her dad's grandmother, so her great-grandmother, was creative, welcoming both to family and to the strangers. She would let anyone into the house during any celebration. and had a love of community beyond anyone else that I know. Stella's mom's grandmother was sweet, humble, and caring. Through your name, you carry on these herstories and legacies of love, family, and kindness. You cut that in there.
Your middle name, Emery, means strength and resilience. Before you were born, you made it clear that you were a fighter. You beat the odds day after day and week after week, and every day you continue to prove that you are incredibly strong, fierce, resilient, and a little bit feisty, as evidenced by the fact you will not stand still. So with your first name representing your past and your middle name representing who you are now, we wanted your Hebrew name to be our hope for you for the future. We chose Me'ira, meaning light. Along with your incredible strength, we wish you eternal light and a commitment to sharing that light with all of those around you. This light can help bring peace to your friends, to your family, to your community, and to the world more broadly. No matter what you do or who you become, know that your names are rooted in love and support, as are you. And you will be surrounded by the love and support. Would you like do you have something to say?
She'll put her mouth on it.
Would you like to speak to people? You'll be surrounded by the love and support of your family, the people in this sanctuary, and the Jewish community more broadly. Now she spit all over your microphone.
Oh, that's okay. That's bonus. That's bonus for sure. Me'ira, Stella, we have a couple of gifts for you this evening. The first is we want to present to you a special certificate, noting this moment and noting this special gift given to you by your parents, this blessing, as you take on this particular blessing in our community. I'm going to show everyone this baby naming certificate for Stella this evening. We have another gift this evening that might be a surprise to more than one or a few people this evening, and so we wanted to offer another blessing, traditional in our particular community. Stella, this is for you.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Do-do-do-do. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Sure. Little darling. darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. So many meanings. Okay, thank you. Let me grab my mask.
Well, we continue our service this evening with our community just a little bit brighter. And so as we turn to each other, offering up that minyan, that community that allows a set of words to turn into a prayer, we continue with the words of Baruch Hu. I'd like to call up Noe and Lily to lead us in this particular prayer, and I'd like to invite the congregation to please rise in body or in spirit. We continue our prayer service this evening with the words of Ma'ariv Aravim, calling out the beauty of the night sky. Let's join together, page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitbona mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotem v'rakia kirtzono, borei yom balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha havta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ub'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
As we continue our service, I'd like to call up Shayna and Evan, Rachel, and Michelle to lead us in our next prayer. Page 34. I'd like to invite everyone to please be seated. As we continue our Shema prayer, I'd like to call up Jacob and Elizabeth to lead us in these sacred words.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, Lihayot lechem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohim.
Adonai Elohim emet.
We continue our service with the words of Micha Mocha. On page 40, I'd like to call up Max and Jackson to lead us in this prayer.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, oseh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnim Hashem Miriam, ze'elianu ve'yamru, ze'elianu ve'yameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Well, this morning, I saw a whole gaggle of little children running around, celebrating Hanukkah, and they were dressed in two colors. See if you can think about what two colors might have been used for this particular celebration, as it was a Jewish celebration. It was a celebration of Hanukkah. This is rhetorical, but Jax, later on, we'll talk later on. So, but if you can think about, Jax, I know that you know that you know that I know that I know that you know. Yeah. The two colors were, right, white and blue. These colors have been a part of our community, perhaps from the very earliest moments of record. One of the distinguishing things about our community was that we would wear these garments that had these fringes on the corners. Now, we know where the invitation for that is. The fringes came from the prayer that Jacob and Elizabeth just led us in so well, just earlier in this service. And the idea was that these fringes that have blue and white traditionally would be placed not only on that community at that time, but that generation after generation we would read these words and place this same garment on our shoulders. On Shabbat, we give thanks for a special presence, something that feels like comfort, holding us around our shoulders. And I would like to suggest that from generation to generation, just as we wear a physical talit, there is a talit that ties one to the other. That's one of the reasons why at sacred moments and life cycle moments, we call in the talit. At every moment in a person's life, at those sacred moments, we use that talit. It's at this point in the service where we call out the beauty of being held in that space, whether it be that we are a brand new life wrapped in the talit of our great-grandfather, or whether it is that we are wrapped in the talit of being in a sanctuary filled with music and filled with love this evening. I invite us to join together for the words on page 42, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Lehamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue with our Vishamru prayer. Vishamru is, I think, the prayer more than any that embodies the Yiddish word freilich. This idea of simply celebrating for celebration's sake, an evening where we can just have fun. And so we've woven a little bit of fun into this particular prayer. There's a word in this prayer. We're not going to get into the grammatical structure of it, but it's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it connects two words together. And the word is, what's the word?
Et.
Et. Thank you. Right. Okay. I couldn't remember. Yeah. Et, not to be confused with the Hebrew word for pen. We'll get into that another time. But anytime the word et shows up in this prayer, I want to invite us either lift up our hands or actually to stand up off of our seats, but we have to do a little bit of practice. So let's practice on the count of three. We're going to do et. We're all going to stand up all together or lift up our hands. 1, 2, 3. Et. Cantor, I think we're ready.
Ready, yeah.
All right, page 44.
Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam. Veshamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam. V'niu v'en b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. 2 and 4 won this.
I was going to say, Cantor, you know how we know that this community is a musical community, that we were on the 2 and 4. I don't know if anybody noticed that. For those of us who were like, what? Yeah, that was a jazz vishamru.
Oh, we've been working on that.
Well, we continue now with our Amidah prayer. Meant to be actually a series of invitations to each and every one of us, doorways into finding a meaningful Shabbat and a meaningful life. And of course, at the very beginning of this prayer, we have an invitation to open our lips, and then we look to the generations. God of Abraham, God of Sarah, God of Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. So too this evening do we celebrate generations, and so we call up those of the newest. I'd like to invite Heather and Arava and Raquel to lead us in our Amidah prayer. Page 48. I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
Lai, 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 lai. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, Ufi tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai tiftach, Ufi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka,
Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora,
We continue silently now, either using the words on the pages to follow or other words we might find in our hearts. We'll join together again with the words of Shalom Rav on page 60. When you've finished your prayer, we'd like to invite you to please be seated.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, Leho Shalom, Ki atahu melech adon, Leho Shalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Thank you to Ethan and Carly. I'd like to call up Carolou, our youth director, to offer special honor this evening.
You guys have to pay attention to me over there because I'm the youth director, all the youth. No, they're fantastic, my youth over there. For those who know me, I'm Carolou. I'm the youth director here at Temple Israel. I have had that title, yeah, so if you like something, we snap. That's what the teens do, we snap, right? I have to collect myself because I often cry up here. My teens know that. I get very emotional because I do have one of the most fulfilling jobs ever. And today, my alumni. So my alumni are here. So can my alumni come up with me today? Madeline Liu, Rachel Roberts, Joe Friedman, Sarah Gershman, come on up with me today. We're honoring our alumni today that are here. Oh my God, Lori, I can't even look at Lori, she's crying. All right, I'm looking over here. So it is 10 years ago. This one's mine. Okay. So 10 years ago, Sharon called me in and she said, Kara, I'd like to bring back our 9th grade class. At this time, our 9th grade class was out in the community. We weren't here. And Sharon said, would you like to teach that class? And I said, sure. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I said, sure. So, the 9th graders, of which Rachel, Joe, and Maddie were in the 9th grade class, our first class we had taught here in Temple Israel in years. And we took them to the Nifty Fall Kala. I think I took about 10 or 12 of them. Yeah, Nifty Fall Kala, right? And they came back to Temple and they said, we want that. We want that here. And that's, with them, is how we got this over here. It was just a group of 9th graders who decided that they wanted something more. And I was instructed, my job was to pay the bills and lift them up to all of their ideas. And they had a lot. And in the 4 years that they built this program, every year that expanded and expanded until we have ANDI. And I just want to give a big kudos out to Madeline, Joe, Rachel, and Sarah, some of our first ANDI members. Madeline and Rachel, come up here for a minute. Madeline and Rachel. Just getting started. I can remember them sitting around my dining room table and making things happen. They wrote our Constitution. They picked our offices. They pretty much said, everything you guys, we do, they started 10 years ago. It's a 10-year anniversary for our group. And I just want to say, if you ever doubt that you can make a change in this world, you already have. And I'm so proud of you both. I can't even say anything more. You two go, bring it in. Sarah, too. All right. So these are my first babies, and they're very tender to my heart, as you guys can see. And I expect a lot of you babies over here. And I always expect a lot of my babies over here, and they never disappoint. Ever. Even having to sit through services before you get to go have fun at a lock-in. So I appreciate you guys sitting here. And I want you to see, when Max and Jackson were standing up here, I leaned over and I said, you guys were them when you started this youth group. You guys can make big change in this world. All you have to do is have an idea, and it can happen. Don't forget that. And Andy, I will do my best to always sign the bills and lift you up. Thank you. Oh, that was way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes crying is a good thing. All the time.
It's always a good thing.
We know that Sometimes tears do bring about healing. But sometimes it's hard to get to that place where we can really be open. Sometimes we need each other to know that we're in a place that's safe. It's only when we're safe that healing can start to begin. And so, of course, we create this space together. One that is safe, one that is loving, and one where healing can take place. And so our thoughts turn now to those in our community who are in need of healing, and that is a healing of the body or the mind, a healing of the spirit, the soul, those of broken body and broken heart. And I want to invite us to take a look in our handouts this evening. We're very deliberate to place the names of those that we are thinking of this Shabbat, because we know that healing takes many forms, and one form is to reach out to one another. If there's a name on here that you see and that you know, reach out. Let them know that you are thinking of them. That is a part of the healing that we call for this evening. If you're joining us online, I'd like to invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of at this time in the chat. And for all of us, we call to mind especially those members of our community and extended circle who have recently come onto our Mishaberach list and are in need of healing. Together, we think of Karen Kalichman, Ray Edelman, Linda Fox, Karen Freed, David Phillips, Jerry Prell and Ann Martin, Diana Ayers, Sandy Becker, Allison Duncan, Richard Korashensky, and Linda Morin. If you are here in our sanctuary and are thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, you'd like to share their name aloud so that we can all hold you and that person in our hearts as we offer this prayer, I'd like to invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Together, I'd like to invite us to offer words of healing. These words can be found on page 253 of our prayer books, page 253. Let's sing together the words of Mishaberach.
Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue our service now with the words on the bottom of page 282. Page 282 with the words of Aleinu. I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כעם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Just in the very same way that lives can profoundly change others by being brought into this world, and especially at this time of the year, we reach out and kindle flames to remind us of the brightness of each and every life in our community, so too is it a profound darkness and brokenness when that light is snuffed out. And so we turn to one another for warmth, because there is quite simply no way to heal when we are by ourselves. When we have lost someone, quite simply, we need to be together. And so our thoughts turn to those in our community who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. If you're joining us online, I'd like to invite you to enter the names of those that you are thinking of in our chat at this time. Together, our hearts are with those who have lost someone in the past 7 days or in the past month. And so our hearts are with those near to Gerda Cipher. Our hearts are with Harold, Liz and Phil, Julia. And our hearts are with those near to Charles Schreier. Our hearts are with Byron and Shlomit Jackson, Danielle and Noah. And our hearts are with those near to Joe Posard. Our hearts are with Susan and Ellie and Anna. Together we also mark the yard site, the anniversary of the death of Edna Albin, Gabrielle Barr, Emil Butler, Sarah Schreifer, Miriam Kodesh, Ann Cohen, Kathy Dixon Davis, Joseph Iser, Dorothy Faddick, Max Fleischer, Joseph Friedman, Arthur Gardner, Harold Goodman, Cherry Gundry, Zev Hausnecht, David Hochstadt, Lillian Jablon, Norman Caddison, Bud Caney, Irving Komsky, Yang Lim, Bella Lutsky, Irene Mendel, Lil Narens, Ted Phillips, Michael Rice, Louis Richmond, Edith Roslinski, Herbert Summer, Alan Sperling, David Swit, Boris Tsipkis, and Samuel Wilkowski. If you are here having suffered a recent loss or are thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, I'd like to invite you to share their name as my eyes meet yours. We add to these names Mir Fisher, Arthur Schneider, Michael Isidore Rice, Mary Rice, and Mark Rice. Now I would like to invite all of us to rise together as one in love and in solidarity. So we offer these words of Mourner's Kaddish. The words can be found on page 294. Page 294, let's offer these together as one. Yitkadal, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divarach Yurte Be'amlich Malchute, B'chayechon V'yomechon U'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala V'izman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olmei Olmaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei D'Kudisha Barichu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechamata, Damiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mramav, Hu Ya'asei Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, Amen. Please be seated. Now I'm going to out a little bit that we do have, I see a couple of board members here, although I have announcements here, and they're going to go to the first board member who stands up and comes up and just, it's Lori. Thank you, Lori. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're here if you want them, or
Okay.
please feel free, go for it.
So, firstly, I'd like to congratulate Elizabeth and Jacob on their bar and bat mitzvah, and thank Rick and Terry Dobrovskis for sponsoring the Shabbat Oneg in honor of their children, and to Joseph and Alicia Marcus in honor of Stella's baby naming. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so nervous. Just shaking. Whew, it's a little warm in here. I'd also really want to acknowledge the ANDI board and the Shmafti board for attending services with us tonight. Your energy fills the room. Thank you so much. And congratulations on all the work that you do. And let's see. Sorry, I took these notes and I was writing, not supporting, and I've got this chicken scratch over other letters. So I want to acknowledge the joint lock-in of the ANDI and Shmafti group. So we have 45 students spending the night here at Temple. It's pretty amazing that these students post B'nai Mitzvah are so involved still in Temple life. Then the other, let's see, so I'll go down this list. Tomorrow morning, we join with Rabbi Fox and many of us sitting in this room for our weekly Torah study beginning at 8:45 in Alban Hall or available on Zoom. And for those of you who are intermittent members of Torah study, now we're meeting in Alban Hall, things are changing. This is an opportunity to study Torah that, although it's the same Torah year after year, it grows. We grow as we study, the modality changes, the ideas change, the people change. Come spend a morning with us. Let's see. Tomorrow, Shabbat morning services begin at 10:30, where we'll be celebrating the B'nai Mitzvah of Elizabeth and Jacob. And again, Mazel Tov. We have a couple of remaining classes before the new year, other than our weekly meetings, that you can receive more information about in our program or on our website calendar. This Sunday, December 18 at 9:45 a.m., join us for Parenting Strategies 101, Creating and Implementing Positive Home Routines with Temple member and Torah Center Education Specialist, Judy Blumenthal. This Wednesday, December 21 at 7 p.m., Rabbi Fox concludes his class, Jewish Rock and Roll, Jewish Rockers of the Past 100 Years. This class meets in person in the sanctuary and is also live streamed. Then the last thing I want to mention, the last event, is on December 24th, we will be having Chinese food, of course, Christmas Eve, and a movie. And it will be at,
I think that one might have.
no.
Oh, I think you're the one that told me it was canceled. But there's a new plan. Sorry, please, yeah.
You doubt me.
No. Learn better. Yeah.
There is dinner and a movie at Kim DeSalle's house.
All right.
And so there will be, if you're interested, then you can call, maybe they can call the office, since everybody knows the office phone number. Okay, so if you're interested, call the office. There will be, I think the movie will be The Fabelmans, and the Chinese food will be from local restaurant. Okay, so if you ever have a question about how to attend one of our classes or programs, look for your emails or call the Temple office, and our staff is most happy to help you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. I'm sorry. Well, if anybody has anything going, questions, I will be asking Lori. Yeah, Ruth. Yes, we'll also be joining together with the Chabad community and the wider community Jewish Long Beach on Sunday at 4 p.m. at 2nd and PCH. We'll be joining together as one community, celebrating Hanukkah. There's going to be all different kinds of things going on, so yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of different festivities. We'll be joining together with Chabad 4 o'clock at 2nd and PCH this coming Sunday to kick off Hanukkah. Right, that's the holiday that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Lori, is that the holiday that's coming up? So, so we want to call up for our closing song our ANDI board members to help us lead this last song, Oseh Shalom, calling out the vision of a world that is on its way to peace. And looking at this group of teens, we are well on our way. Let's join together the words of Oseh Shalom. If you'd like the words, they're on the bottom of that same prayer we just offered, 294, or some of us, we might know it. Let's sing together.
You ready? You ready? Oseh Shalom, Bimroma. Oseh Shalom, Bimroma. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Alleluia. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom, Bimroma. Oseh Shalom, Bimroma. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Huya aseh, huya aseh, huya aseh shalom. Alleluia. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Nicely done.
Board. All right, so yeah, that was well done, you guys. We have one more bit of celebration as we mark the sweetness of this particular Shabbat, and so we continue with our Kiddush. I'd like to call up Jacob and Elizabeth to help us in the leading of our Kiddush this evening.
Do we have it? Oh, here. It's in a new place.
Well, let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, Ve'ahava uvratzon chinchilanu, zikaron b'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu bacharta, ve'otanu kidashta, Mikol hamim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat lechaim. Take a sip. Do you want to take a sip? Let's join together our blessing for our challah. We have a custom here at Temple Israel of connecting to this challah, just as this challah connects us to this holiday. So I invite you to place your hand maybe on the shoulder of someone who is touching someone who is connected with someone who is connected with someone who is connected to our challah this evening. That is your challenge, to be connected one way or the other, and then we'll be a full closed circuit. No. Okay. Well, let's join together
Do you guys want to come up?
for our blessing. In just a minute, we're going to get everyone a chance to get fully connected this evening.
I know.
You got to get the connection.
Here we go. Jackson's making the
Jackson's
connection.
going to get the connection. Come on.
Whoa!
Come on, come on.
All right.
All right.
All right. We are connected.
Here we are, all right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Because I really like that one, but I don't know what it's called.
It's by a group called Matovu. It's by a group called Matovu.
Yeah.
It-
Did they write that
Yeah.
music?
Yeah.
Can I get a copy of this?
Sure. I'll email it to you.
Yeah.
Just email me in case I forget, because sometimes people ask.
What's your email?
Cantor?
Interesting.